They seem to be reassured by Theresa May's promise to fight the vote with everything she's got. The pound has shed almost 2% this week after the Prime Minister delayed a crucial parliamentary vote on her Brexit deal. Well, let's get more on this leadership showdown now with Chris Roebuck in London. He's a visiting professor of transformational leadership at the Cass Business School. Good to have you back with us, Chris. So the markets and investors seem to be quite happy with Theresa May's confidence that she'll win the vote later this evening. Do you think she'll survive it?
Yeah, I mean, to be perfectly honest, let's be absolutely clear. This is her party causing problems for her rather than the problems that she's got in Parliament. And it's a very bizarre situation that no chief executive would tolerate, where 15% of your employees or investors can trigger a challenge to you. What is good for her is that there appears to be nobody who wants to sort of stand against her, so there's no obvious candidate. If the whole thing goes horribly wrong, the Conservative Party could be faced with a general election, which they don't want. So the likelihood is that, given those other alternatives, that they're not going to do anything about it. But I mean, the comment that people are making is, you know, come on, this is like rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic and arguing about who gets the best one. It doesn't solve the main problem, which is Brexit.
Well, as you say, no one's really put themselves forward right now, really vying for that position. But let's look at some possible contenders. We've got the former Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson, his successor Jeremy Hunt, the former Brexit Secretary Dominic Raab. But who among her colleagues would possibly do a better job, do you think?
Well, this is the problem. You know, if you look at what Theresa May is trying to achieve, she's got the ultimate leadership poison chalice. She's got, you know, leaders say you can't keep everybody happy all the time. She's in a position where she can't really keep anybody happy any of the time because of what she's trying to achieve, going from a referendum deal that was pretty much 50-50 across the country, based on a lot of assumptions, a lot of emotion. The reality of what it means is sinking in. There's hardliners in her party who want out no matter what the consequences. There's people vying for political position. So, you know, she's basically trying to juggle so many balls, it's absolutely impossible to do it without dropping a few. And that's what she's having to face up to. The reality is that anybody who then goes into that position has a problem, because the EU isn't going to renegotiate. The hardliners aren't going to tolerate the current position, so it's a pretty much a checkmate position for everybody. Yes,
as you say, Theresa May, when she took over as Prime Minister 2 years ago, did inherit this poison chalice, that is, having to deliver on Brexit. But over the course of the 2 years, how would you rate her performance overall on that front?
As I said, you know, yes, she gets a 10 out of 10 for determination. Yes, she gets sort of 8 out of 10 for trying to get all of her stakeholders together. You know, herd the sheep into the pen, so to speak. But you could also make the analysis that one of the success factors of great leaders is to realise a point at which you are trying to achieve the impossible and not keep pushing. Because it's become clear that that vote was not going to get through the Houses of Parliament. People might even have said months ago. So there has to be a fundamental rethink. The EU are not going to change their position. Something has to give. And at the moment, because she's held ransom by a small group of Ulster DUP members in the House of Commons that she needs to get anything done, you know, it looks like there has to be a fundamental rethink of where we are. Even if she stays around, it's going to move on to something different. I suspect we're going to head towards maybe a general election, maybe a referendum. And some people are saying a second referendum might be good, because now we can actually make a decision on the reality of what it means, rather than a lot of assumption and emotion that we made the decision on 2 years ago.
Fascinating stuff. All will be revealed in a few hours' time. Chris Roebuck, always good to get your thoughts. Thank you.